Hello, everybody. Ken here, also known as psyguyorami. Welcome to another vlog. Excuse me. I wanted to do one a bit of a last minute. That's why I'm doing this on my phone. So forgive the setup, how I look, whatnot. I'm on break at work. Um, I wanted to talk about something that I don't think I've ever really addressed here on the channel because in recent years, especially from a social standpoint, there has been a bit of an uproar about how people want to identify pronouns, who they want to be personally, so on and so forth. And I've never really commented on it, and I figured it was worth a quick vlog. Hopefully, quick. We'll see. I'm doing this without Gemini, so I may go into some thoughts into the weeds, but bear with me. I think they're acceptable. I really do. I think they're acceptable because people want to identify a certain way. And look, I live in America, we're all about freedom, even though half the other countries on the planet have freedom as well. But we're free to who we want to be, and some groups tend to get up in arms when they get confused and they don't understand or they're ignorant of moves in society, progressive moves in society. And people want to identify how they want to identify, and in my perception, we should be understanding of that. Just because it goes against what you think is right or what should be normal doesn't mean that we should, in some ways, even if low key, oppress people from who they want to be. And it's funny that we latch on to pronouns about that because it's such a simple thing, Um, to me, it's kind of like getting a name wrong. If mispronounce a name or you think there's you say the wrong name and they correct you. My name is, or I identify as, or if somebody were to call me she, but I'm actually he, like over the phone, it's a mistake. It's, you just say, oh, well, actually, I do all this and that. And people see this as like offensive. And of course, that's when it's taken too far. But man, it's just, my opinion on it is people are who they want to be, and they have their own pronouns, they have their own names, they have their own dreams and aspirations. But here's the kicker. I also acknowledge that genetically and biologically, we're all born either male, female, or sometimes, because both. It's pretty rare for that to happen, but it can happen, and I don't personally, I don't think a whole lot of people I've dealt with in my life realize that. Now, that doesn't really feed into the pronoun situation or how people want to identify in society, but that's just the truth of nature. I mean, it really is. Until there's an asterisk there, because until we get into genetic engineering, then all bets are off. So, I could get into genetic engineering at some point in another vlog, but look, all I'm saying is that I think to take away what people want to be or who they want to be is kind of un-American in some regards. It kind of takes away from the fundamentals of who we want to be. And granted, there is a social majority that can influence how that impacts federal paperwork, state paperwork, applications, so on and so forth. And sadly, part of the two-party system is that it's a push and pull. And the current administration, as of this recording, is really fighting that and fighting the change. What was, and then the next person will come in, and then they'll change what was, and then it gets confusing, and that doesn't help the fact that it's already society trying to make progress on that, So I think to remain stale in who we are as a society in certain regards to who people want to be, and take things back, it even more confuses the narrative and it holds us back, in my opinion. So, but again, going back to it biologically, we are born male or female, and then from there, people want to navigate their own life. They want to do what they want to do and be who they want to be. And if that involves them being called they, them, or he, she, he, him, she, her, or whatever it might be, it is what it is. Now, there needs to be an understanding that not everybody's going to see it that way. Obviously, what we've covered here, and there may or may not be a chance that not every form or person or governmental society or even leader will understand that or even try to, you know. Sadly, you may feel like in denial of who you are because of some of these facts, but that doesn't change who you are. And that doesn't change who you want to be. Sadly, it's just society showing the majority of what they think at the time, although it'll change, just be in and out. You are who you are, and people are who they want to be. And to deny that is, I don't know, man. Look, it gets crazy, and I could go on and on about it, but I'm already going on 6 minutes. So anyway, that's my stance on the whole thing. Feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think, because, you know, we're all individuals. We all have our opinions. We all have our perceptions. But when it comes right down to it, there's just two things that remain true. One, we are born biologically male and female, sometimes male and female. And two, after you're born and you start to develop your identity, and if it changes later on, so be it. It's purely human, and it's our choice. It's our prerogative to act, you know, just be who we want to be. And as an American, I believe we're totally allowed that freedom, no matter what other people may think, no matter what the current administration puts into paperwork or how they see things. It doesn't change who we are, and it doesn't change who you want to be. Stay safe, stay sane. Remember, you're awesome. Never let the world tell you otherwise. And just remember, society is push and pull. It's going to be back and forth. But over time, progress will be made and things will be set in stone. For the most part. See ya.